All right, I think I had one more for design and turnaround I wanted to make sure that I went over. And so this character, this was a lawyer done for one of my shows. And one of the first things I noticed was, why is the lawyer seem to be wearing tennis shoes? So I asked to put the lawyer into dress shoes because that just seemed odd. And then this is another common mistake that happens with almost all art: tangents. And so what I mean by that is the line of the neck going into the shoulder right there, and the line of the jacket collar, of the shirt collar, all just come and meet together without any sense of what's behind, what's in front. Tangents are the death of all art, unless you're Thomas More. And Tom Moore is brilliant and makes it into his style, which is breathtaking and wonderful. But if that's not the style, do everything you can to avoid tangents. So you will see specifically what I was asking for was to add volume to and interest to these shapes. Make sure when you are doing your characters that unless you are specifically going for a style where having tangents and converging lines is important, then make sure that you don't do it in your character designs. There's another little trick. This is something that came up during the production of Hercules. When we started Hercules, one of the designers came up with doing this beautiful ionic column design in the ears. You know, an ionic column, of course, has this shape to it. And so wanting to have Greek influence in the design, they came up with that design for the ear. And originally, the original model sheet for young Hercules, the ear was the same as it turned because it looked so good in this design. They kept the same design for the front view and the side view. But what happened was when the character started being animated and turning his head slowly, it looked like that ear just was never changing because the shape didn't change at all from front view to side view. And the first time we saw that, we all just sort of snickered. And so they went back and redesigned the ear so that the proportion, you see the proportion of ear showing there gets thinner and the shape condenses more. And so that was necessary to keep the character looking volumetric. And I would say I've seen this in a lot of character designs where you get a good ear shape and the ear is the same from the front and from the side, and the character just will never be able to turn that way. So I think you should always make sure that you look out for that, particularly in the ears, but particularly any shape that does not change in your turnaround is going to appear to be static if that character is turning, and it will wreck the illusion that the character is turning. When I was a character designer on the Boondocks, we had I know 1 week, me and the other character designer had 2 weeks to do 125 characters. The Boondocks, those characters were drawn lifelike, lots of lines, lots of work. You'd expect to go a lot faster, hopefully on a Cartoon Network show or something. So it does vary by show, but if you're doing a full turnaround, you might have an hour to 2 hours, depending on the show, to do that. It's going to change depending on the type of show, and it's going to depend on where you are in the schedule. There will be times when you are given all week to do 3 designs, and there will be times when you are given 8 designs to do that day. Schedules change, scripts get rewritten constantly. Some work gets thrown out that you've worked on all this time, and then more work is added. So it's amorphous. I wish I could explain it better than that. You want to be good enough at doing turns that you're not stuck on a bunch of the technical stuff, that you can start playing with shapes and moving things around quickly. I'd say, if you're doing a drawing every 15 to 20 minutes, and then a turnaround is 5 drawings, you can probably extrapolate out, that's probably 2 hours of your day. But like I said, every show is different, and believe me, as you start doing it, it's one thing, I'll tell you, I remember being a student, I remember getting into the industry, And it's one thing at the beginning to work and do some of these drawings in an hour. But once you've been doing the job, even a couple years, you get very used to doing these drawings in 10 minutes because a lot gets thrown at you very quickly. You know, if you've worked hard and prepared yourself, you rise to the occasion. It is different for every show, but I think generally speaking, if you can do a turnaround in an hour, you're probably doing well.